Who doesn't need a little mental Velcro in their classrooms? Welcome to Hack Learning. It's what you can do tomorrow. I'm your host, Mark Barnes, and today we are talking about instructional design and extraordinary ways to create contemporary curriculum. And I'm going to share with you Hack 7, Plug into Prior Knowledge, from Hacking Instructional Design, Book 21 in the Hack Learning series by Michael Fisher and Elizabeth Fisher. The problem: prior knowledge is not always engaged. One of our largest educational conundrums is deciding what, how, and why students need to learn, and making sure we're moving in a logical direction as we guide them. We can utilize the greatest resources in the world, but unless we're connecting to previous learning or experiences, we're not taking advantage of the neural pathways in a student's mind. Prior knowledge exists outside of standards, outside of grade level expectations, outside of assessments, and outside of the numerous pedagogical ideas we're sharing in this book. But it is a vital piece of any student's education. If we want learning to stick, we need to anchor it in a way that allows students to build on their existing foundations using their prior knowledge. The hack: plug into prior knowledge. Students grow neural pathways when new learning builds on knowledge that already exists in their brains. Plug students into their own brains to figure out where to start. You don't put a roof on a house with no walls or foundation, right? You lay the foundation first. The same theory is true in the classroom. Plugging students in can happen in multiple ways: through pre-assessments that give teachers a window into existing knowledge, or through discussion, or through a series of driving questions. Students can also participate through the social construction of knowledge. Social construction has to do with a group of students sharing what they already know, which allows students to build on the ideas and experiences of their peers. This instills background knowledge without traditional research and gives you an idea where the entire class stands. I hope you're enjoying this preview to Hacking Instructional Design. This is book 21 in the Hack Learning series by Michael Fisher and Elizabeth Fisher. And before we get back to what you can do tomorrow in this preview hack, I want to remind you to get over to hacklearning.org/design. There's an opportunity there for you to grab a free downloadable bonus material packet from the authors. There are 61 pages of bonus material, bonus hacks. Whether or not you buy Hacking Instructional Design, you'll want to take a look at this. 61 pages, reproducible content that teachers can use in their classrooms, incredible bonus hacks, a study guide if you are using the book from the authors. It's just a fabulous package that they have spent so much time creating, not as a part of the book, but as an added free resource. Check it out at hacklearning.org/design. Make sure you grab it today, hacklearning.org/design. Let's get back to this excerpt from Hacking Instructional Design. What you can do tomorrow: ask and answer questions. One of the biggest missing features in many classrooms is rich discussion. We often ask students to approach new learning by reading about it rather than discussing it. Read a chapter, answer the questions, take a test on Friday. Sound familiar? If we want students to demonstrate what they've learned, though, we need to lead them down a trail that allows that. Discussion means listening and speaking, and can lead to reading, researching, reviewing, and reflecting on what everyone said. After that, they can write, perform, or problem solve with unique parameters. In this way, you're setting out a common level of prior knowledge with the discussion, and then allowing students to build on that individually and demonstrate their knowledge. Teach students to notice and think. On Harvard's Project Zero website, you can access several types of visible thinking routines that we've used with students and teachers over the years. They are spectacular for teasing out details in conversations and inviting rich discussions. One that we use often is see, think, wonder. Over the years, we've changed it slightly to notice and think. When we invite learners to use notice and think, we're looking for them to notice what jumps out at them as important. Specifically, information they think is worth knowing and sharing. Then we ask them to make connections between that and anything else that they've read or experienced. Using this thinking routine has led to many deep conversations over the years, and we still use it when working with teachers today. Activate the student's mental Velcro. In the book Active Literacy Across the Curriculum by Heidi Hayes Jacobs, we were introduced to the term mental Velcro. She describes how we want the learning to stick, like Velcro. The idea, along with many others in brain-based research, talks about the emotional attachment students must have to their learning in order for that learning to stick. This happens in several ways. First, students must connect new learning to previous learning for this to work. Second, students need opportunities to experience different forms of instruction. If everything is always the same from one day to another, it keeps them from taking the next step and figuring out which way works best for them. It certainly keeps them from achieving a deeper level of learning. Third, students must get excited about their learning. When they do, they are more motivated, they retain more, and they remember for longer periods of time. Look for ways you can change your curriculum to account for these requirements so you can activate emotional hooks within your students and engage that mental Velcro. Switch up your methodologies, add humor to the learning, add color, engage their interests, and provide multiple types of media. Time travel to 1949. Take a quick trip back in time to 1949 to Ralph Tyler's book, Basic Principles of Curriculum Instruction. He outlined the foundation for what you hold in your hands right now, and the foundation upon which we seek to build as you read and contemplate instructional and professional goals. It's important to set clear goals and objectives, create lesson experience, and evaluate how students are progressing toward their goals. Then make decisions about how you will measure your and your students' successes in meeting those goals. It is equally important to remember that new learning is dependent on connections to previous learning, and that teachers must understand that their students are bringing to the table with them. That includes any innovations and right now experiences that students may have already become accustomed to in their current generational realities, even if those innovations and experiences differ from their teachers' experiences. Final thoughts. Activating prior knowledge is essential for helping students make connections. Those connections provide the basis for students to build on as they grasp new concepts and ideas. Devoting time to prior knowledge as a function of new knowledge acquisition is an essential component of instructional design. You've been listening to Hack 7, Plug into Prior Knowledge, from Hacking Instructional Design, 33 Extraordinary Ways to Create a Contemporary Curriculum by Michael and Elizabeth Fisher. Hacking Instructional Design is book 21 in the Hack Learning series, and you can find it on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, libraries, and other stores. Please learn more about Hacking Instructional Design today. Check it out at hacklearningbooks.com. You've been listening to the Hack Learning Podcast. I'm Mark Barnes. For more episodes, visit hacklearningpodcast.com.